Hello! Today I will take you through the process of making my latest short film, Cast Iron. So let's explore what has been my hardest to make film yet. As I explained from my previous making of video, I said that I would take a week-long break to recharge my creative brain cells, so that the next production would be much easier to make. And I stuck to it. The only problem was, there were too many things that I wanted to put to screen, and many of them meant I would have to learn a lot more on how to use Blender. So I narrowed it down to one film that I wanted to make, and that film was called Project Dystopia. Unfortunately, when I started making this film, I realised that I was being overambitious. Some of the scenes that I drew up really show that. The film was going to be about a boy who has been surviving in a post-apocalyptic world that was overrun by aliens, and would encounter an alien and have to try and kill one to survive. But really, I found that as soon as I started the first scene, I had made an error. I had never attempted to 3D model or animate people before. So then began nearly 10 days or so of relentless modelling and animating to no avail. I just couldn't do it. So with that, Project Dystopia fell silent. I needed to think of a much easier short film to make after that. I had already wasted so much time, and on top of that, I was going through some of the worst days of school in my life. There was just too much to do at once, so as soon as we started the final term of school, I just had to start again with a blank slate. Eventually though, I came up with one idea. An idea that started with me writing down notes in my English book and drawing some sketches in my science book. If I'm not learning anything useful, I might as well do something that contributes to my future. And when I got home, I sat down at my desk, opened up Blender, and started modelling. And I made a dragon head. I animated it roaring, added some sound and a background, then posted it, all in the span of 2 days, which of course means that I lied about having finished most of the animation. All that I had done was a head, not even a full body or a full story, but I just felt as if I had to get something done. Now, I think it was all of the pressure from wasting all the time on making Project Dystopia, or the fact that we were under immense pressure from school, that made us have to think about what college we had to go through, and what we wanted to do as a career, but the most damning of all was a newfound case of anxiety. I couldn't sleep at night, my airways felt like they were being sealed up to my neck, it's still hard to breathe at this very moment, it was a lot going on all at once. But I was able to just about carry on with the film, and all was made a lot easier when I discovered a joy of art. Now, I've been drawing for years at this point, and what I mean by art is painting really. I only proceeded to get better at drawing, but this singular painting is what inspired me to keep on going with my art, which in turn made me finish the film. After all that, I had reached the deadline, but only just. This film is made using Blender 3D and iMovie and GarageBand. The animation side of this is done in Blender, while most of the effects and sound are done in iMovie. GarageBand is only for the voiceovers. Most of the scenes will look something like this. If you're not going to see the rest of the scene, then why should it be made? I also use the artistic detail of adding stereoscopy into the animation, and I think it gives a brilliant effect. However, as soon as we reach sunlight, the effect goes away. This 3D model is my robotic dragon, and it is fully posable and textured, and it took a very, very long time to fully make. And finally, the explosions and water were made using the same technique as the water and explosions in Godzilla vein. Nothing too special, but I just wasn't able to make simulated fire without making it look nearly as vibrant as this. Now, the basic story is about this dragon who is made to be a machine that knows nothing about destruction. However, despite only knowing this one command, he is still very aware of what he is doing and knows how wrong it truly is. He just cannot overcome his programming until the very end. And honestly, there is not much left of this film to break down. It was a very wild ride, and I am not particularly pleased with the final outcome. In my eyes, it is rushed, low quality, and doesn't even look very good for the second half. But despite that, I did learn some things about making this film. Number 1, don't lie to your audience. Number 2, I learnt to step out of this strange 2D style that I tried to experiment with. And number 3, I learnt how to paint and draw again. And that really, I shouldn't be rushing these films. They need to have time and effort put into them if they are going to be taken seriously. And that is the logic that I need to apply to all of my films from here on out, because it will just add more and more unnecessary pressure. Thank you for watching, if indeed you still are. I will now play the obligatory game of Mario Kart, this time on the Wii U, and I will proceed to take another week off just to reset. It's the summer holidays after all, and I have all the time in the world to perfect my films. So here's to whatever I make next, I guess. Goodbye.